Committed to preserving the voices that shape our community. We know people have short memories. And as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall alongside every episode of Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Have you ever had a season where nothing was happening for you? No one's reaching out, no job offers, no dates, no one validating you, just no movement. And you start thinking, maybe I lost my magic. Maybe I missed the window. Or maybe there's something wrong with me. There's actually nothing wrong with you. Here's what's happening on a spiritual level. When you ask the universe for something big, a next level fulfillment, you're not just pulling it in, you're also triggering a cleanup process in your life. You begin a spiritual gating process that blocks out the type of people who belong to your old vibration. You ask for a soulmate, the emotionally unavailable ones begin to disappear. And so it feels like you're alone at first. You ask for a purpose-aligned career, suddenly you get fired from your current job, or funding dries up. You ask for more money, they'll be lost first. So yeah, it feels like rejection, but it's not. It's a divine redirection where you are being concealed from forces and people who would otherwise waste your time. So if life feels quiet right now, maybe it's not empty. Maybe it's sacred, because the Creator has a plan for you. Here's a mantra. I am protected by divine concealment. I am hidden from what no longer serves me. I am revealed only to what is meant for my light.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR back in the building. You already know what it is. You know what it is? We're going to turn it upside down and turn it on the side, and we're going to flip it inside out, all of it. We got a great topic today, and it was meant for yesterday, but, life be life, and I had some family issues I had to address, man. But guess what? I'm back in the building, and I'm ready to cook. So the clip was very interesting. And yes, we demonize being stuck. Yeah, we do. We are so toxically ambitious, right? We got to be moving. We got to be getting something. We got to be, you know what I'm saying? It's got to be progressing. It has to be up leveling. It has to be upgraded. It has to be. And again, do you see the polarity in what the young man was saying? You want a bigger, more ambitious financial profile. Well, you might lose a little first, like a pruning is happening. And I love the way he framed it. But the way we're going to frame it tonight, you can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. See, sometimes the idea we have in our mind about what we want is incongruent with the truth of who we are. And many times, because we're so self-avoidant and or self-unaware, for those who are a little bit self-avoidant, I'll just leave it at that. For many of us, we don't even want to look at ourselves as the culprit. You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. There's a distinct difference between your desire and the type of magnet you are. You say, well, what do you mean the type of magnet? Yes, we're constantly magnetizing things to us that reflect where we are currently in our state of consciousness, right? We want you to reclaim your sacral territory. This will be an intriguing look at how we vilify stagnancy. Now, what's interesting is psychology has picked up on mindfulness. And mindfulness is basically a new concept to psychology, meaning, they had to test it in its rigorous, rigorous testing, meditation, mindfulness. But really what mindfulness is a type of stillness, the stillness of the mind, where you stop the thoughts, the incessant thoughts that are constantly bombarding the mind. And, if we're talking about shamans and gurus and siddhas, these people have mastered the quieting of the mind. Now, for many people, that might come across or feel boring. Like, nothing is on your mind? Absolutely nothing. Well, this is how you escape the rat race of that. But many of us, like I said, we suppress who we are while trying to manifest what we want. And then we get frustrated when we don't get it because we are unaware of the incongruence within self, as we are, and the desire for something that might make us happy. Yes, he who thinks as mindfulness equals still waters, right? This is very interesting. I want to know what you guys think. Do we really know the difference between stuck and stillness? Do we know the difference? The necrosis of enlightenment. When stillness becomes spiritual mummification, modern seekers rot alive inside their enlightenment projects. Spiritual necrosis, right? Spreading as mindfulness gets weaponized into manifestation theater. I keep telling y'all, manifestation is just a new word for needy, greedy, and empty. When you're walking the spiritual path, I need you to understand something. Oneness is a concept. Now, listen, don't get mad at me because I'm quoting the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Rig Vedas, right? The Vedanta. Don't get mad at me if I'm quoting these things and then you go back and hear your preacher, your pastor, or whoever, your bishop, your friend, whoever mention something that comes right out of that tradition. What do you mean, Zoe? When they say mindfulness, because now that's a buzzword, just like narcissist, trauma, gaslighting. These are psychological terms now. Mindfulness has become a psychological term, and people are starting to use it. Well, it comes right out of that tradition, the Vedic tradition. Do you understand? And it's very important that you guys understand this. When you are trying to escape from self, the work that is necessary to be done on self, many of us will daydream, will fantasize, we desire. Man, if I get this, if I focus on this, if I do this ritual, if I pray this way, how am I going to get what I desire? Many times, getting what you desire, manifesting what you desire is a form of escapism. How so, Zoe? How so? Very simple. First off, we think the acquisition of something in the external realm will satiate what hasn't been dealt with internally. Everything goes back to the inside. Where did the inside get its origin? From the outside. How so, Zoe? Early childhood. So what is broken inside was initiated outside. So what we try to do is go outside to get an answer for what only you can deal with internally. I know people don't want to hear it put that way, but that's what it is. Modern seekers, right, rot alive inside their enlightenment projects. Spiritual necrosis. Spreading as mindfulness gets weaponized into manifestation theater. Neuroscience reveals the horror. Forced positivity shrinks the hippocampi, right, or the hippocampus portion of the brain, while inflaming the amygdala, right? Entombing souls in cortisol-soaked sarcophagi of gratitude practice. You know what I mean? People practice in peace and positivity, but inside they are a mess. Well, let me go manifest something I want, and if I get it, I have a moment of peace, I have a moment of gratitude, I have a moment of happiness until the desire to want something else. At the highest level of consciousness, you begin to understand all is one. Everything is one. God is not separate from anything because God is infinite, the foundational ground of reality. Nothing is outside of God's purview, right? When you get to a certain level, you see God everywhere, in everything, as everything. Do you see? And until you see it in yourself, the external acquisition becomes paramount. Krishnamurti's mirror cracks as millions confuse Instagrammed serenity with self-awareness. Their sacral chakras fossilizing into McManson-shaped voids. Eckhart Tolle's now, the power of now, becomes a fetishized prison cell where trauma bonds masquerade as divine union. Lovers gaslighting each other's shadows with #awakening. Do you see? Oh, this is real stuff that's happening. Pema Chodron's sacred pause rots into performative suffering. Stagnancy rebranded as trusting the process, while credit scores implode. The epidemic's pinnacle, right? A generation of dopamine addicts meditating their way to adrenal burnout, mistaking algorithmic validation for nirvana. I know you don't want to hear it this way, but this is what it is. Salvation lies not in more manifestation, but in radical decomposition. What is decomposition? You hear people say it all the time. Let's peel the layers back. You hear people say it all the time. Let's unpack that. We quick to unpack what somebody else has said, but we won't unpack ourselves. Right? Decomposition is the key. Self-decomposition. Right? Let your unprocessed rage and unmet desires fester into malicial networks beneath society's manicured enlightenment lawn, man. Listen. You know what the melanocytes is in your brain, right? The little coating over the cells, over the synaptic nerves. I don't want to get all in that deep. But only through this rejection of looking outward will we be able to find a way to understand that all the practice we do to gain understanding of ourselves won't matter if we don't really deal with who we are currently and how we came to be. That's why tonight's topic, you can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. Sometimes doing nothing. You say, wait a minute, Zoe, that doesn't make any sense. Yes, it does. If we go back to the great Krishnamurti, what did he say? What did he say about the highest form of observation? It's non-judgmental. In other words, I don't have to come to a conclusion. I'm not trying to come to a conclusion or an evaluation of something, right? When you're unpacking yourself, you have to be able to do that. We think unpacking ourselves is about labeling, categorizing, evaluating, grading, downgrading, upgrading. I don't like this aspect of myself, so I'm going to do. No. You want to manifest something great, you have to be the manifestation. We have it in reverse. We want to manifest a thing instead of manifesting the being that we are. Do you see? You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. You can manifest trinkets and baubles, right? You can manifest cars, relationships. You can manifest all of that, but all of that will be subject to spiritual obsolescence. Entropy. It will begin to break down because it's not rooted in the truth of you, because you're not rooted in the truth of you. Do you see how manifestation becomes spiritual masturbation? When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to keep cooking. Let's go.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley. KBLA talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There'll be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., the Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Purple raindrops, spotted flowers. I daydream for hours since I've met you. I can't forget you. Oh, what am I gonna do? I see funny things, many strange things. I think that you changed things since I've met you. I can't.
And I want to tell you this.
Oh, Lord.
When we were dating, he was still grieving. When I would come to the house, her pictures and stuff is everywhere. Didn't bother me none.
Why not?
Because I understood, Siobhan, though this is your husband, he still got to go through his process. And how do I look saying, all right, let's put away her memory. I'm here now. That would be so silly. 20 years with this woman, that's not going to just leave you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I honored her too.
And if he could discard her that quickly, it's setting the precedence of how quickly he'll
do
be able
me.
to discard you.
Oh no, we're going to honor her. We're going to go to the cemetery. Let's get flowers. I'm going with y'all.
Yes.
And that's exactly what she did from the beginning. This is one, I guess you can call it a test too. When we was dating, first thing I said, well, you know, I've never been into tattoos or anything, but I wanted to honor my former wife. So I said, I'm going to get a tattoo my former wife here with a crown and say my queen, her name was Ebony, and her name. I said, how would you feel about that? Because you would have to wake up to that every day seeing that. And psychologically, for a woman, that's many not going to do that.
No.
I don't care how you've been.
I don't care how anointed, saved, whatever you were. You'd be like, hold on now. That's just too much.
She said, no, you've been with your wife for 22 years. She's like, of course, you honor her. And I said, wow. Because I didn't expect that response, really.
Now, she going to get called a fool and stupid and thirsty and a pick-me and all types of other stuff because she afforded her partner that. See, let me explain something to you. See, that's why that clip is significant, right? We live in a spiritually impoverished society that worships victimhood, that worships trauma bonds, and listen, I'm telling you, toxicity is the currency, right? You hear the great Krishnamurti. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. Listen, you got people who been on the usher board for 25 years, been a deacon, been a imam, been a pastor, been everything, been a bishop, been everything, been first lady, second lady, and third lady. Listen, been all of it, but never really embodied the word. Do you understand? Never really became the gospel. Right? Never became the dean. Right? This is what we're talking about on today's topic. Most people, when it start going bad, they start getting happy feet, ready to move to manifest something else. Manifest is an escape for most people. You can't manifest what is truly aligned with you if you're not aligned with you. See, that's tonight's topic. You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. Now, when you discover who the hell you are, you find that that key word in the topic, want, starts to lessen. You start to want less because you recognize that you are content and full where you are. So many people are not full that they have this insatiable appetite where they're trying to eat plates that weren't offered, meals that you don't even need those spiritual calories. But the ego is so small. You remember that saying your big mama used to say, boy, your eyes bigger than your stomach. Yeah, you can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. When we come forward, the voice of reason will continue this bonfire.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Rapper Snoop Dogg is addressing the backlash over his performance at President Trump's crypto ball, saying his new album will speak for itself. In a recent interview, he explained the event was a smart financial move and helped him connect with people who can bring tech resources to underserved communities. Memphis, Tennessee is asking a judge to sanction Tyree Nichols' family attorneys, claiming they misled the public about who would pay the $550 million lawsuit. The city says Ben Crump's firm wrongly suggested taxpayers would not be impacted. Nichols' team later clarified their statement. And Black Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown is suing the Trump administration over immigration conditions tied to federal funding. He says the feds are overstepping by forcing states to act against their own laws, especially in transportation and emergency services. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's
It's time to bring people back into the hiring process. If posting jobs online and screening applicants is failing, turn to the experts, Express Employment Professionals. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. Express blends tech with local support. That's expresspros.com.
When the flames subside, who ensures that the stories endure? At KBLA Talk 1580, we're committed to preserving the voices that shape our community. We know people have short memories, and as long as this Black Talk radio station is on the air, we will not let Altadena be forgotten. We are honored to announce that the Altadena Historical Society will officially archive our recent town hall alongside every episode of Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. This is the show of record, the definitive source for tracking Altadena's roots, resilience, recovery, and reunion. These stories will now live on for students, scholars, researchers, and journalists seeking truth and legacy in the months and years to come. Because history isn't just made, it's honored, it's recorded, and it's passed forward. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach? Transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal? Prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number, because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
a child that's lost his way in a great big world. Then a miracle happened by when you happened into my life and said you love me. All around me the world was cold, and you tenderly touched my soul with your sunshine, girl. In my future you gave it birth, in my living you gave it worth, little Angie. 'Cause I love you, Angie girl, I love you. Yes, I do. Heaven knows my heart is true.
Identity can be authentic or identity can be false. Children of this, human beings have a need to be themselves. And that means being in touch with their feelings. For example, you say you stepped on your emotions around this assault on your body by your mother. Your genuine emotions were being rage. But can a 4-year-old afford to be in a rage all the time when he depends on nurturing and caregiving from the person that hurt? So self-protectively, you stuffed on a rage. But that means you're stuffing on an authentic part of yourself, because our brains are wired for anger. Anger is a healthy response to a boundary invasion.
And Brother Gabor be cooking, man. I love that brother's work. He's cooking. Everything is about authenticity. Being authentic, right? But nobody's keeping it real. Everybody is a mask out here groping for things to validate the image of the mask. Listen to what I just said. It's rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not saying there aren't people out there. What I'm saying is the majority of people you meet claim real be fake as a $19.50 bill. And they're groping for things, because the more things they get, the more validated the mask becomes. Like, oh, this is working. This is how manifestation is working for a lot of people. Let me explain something to you. You're not going to cheat the game. Spirit is going to put you in a situation. You're going to get something you didn't anticipate on getting. Ask Diddy. Diddy had the mask is off right now. The man's sitting in court in an orange jumpsuit. His hair is white as cocaine, salt. Don't even look like Diddy. Do you understand? Everything is coming. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. Some people will say, well, he did manifest what he wanted. He wanted wealth and riches. And listen, when you start to grow up spiritually, you stop wanting, you stop desiring, because you see the source of everything in everything. You are, including yourself. The lines of demarcation begin to deteriorate. Do you understand? You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are. You incarnated on planet Earth to discover the ultimate reality about yourself, which is why Source made relationships psychological mirrors. There's a psychological mirroring effect that happens in relationships that's designed to reveal you to you. Now, you can conceal you from your partner, and you can conceal the real you from yourself, but it requires a tremendous amount of effort and focus. Can you imagine doing all of that concealment work of who you really are, while at the same time demanding people tell you the truth? You got to be real with me. You got to tell me the truth. but you're not the truth. As long as you're suppressing, right? Does that make sense? As long as you're suppressing your inner work, claiming it without judgment. See, people think work is like putting a shovel into your spirit and digging something. No, it's really just looking without judgment, without condemnation, right? Without critique. And that's exceedingly difficult to do. It's easy to say, but it's difficult to do. So how do people get by? Do you know I can look Islamic if I put on some pantaloons and a jalabiyah and an imma or taqiyya, and I get some dhikr beads, right? I can perform Islam. I can learn the language. Islam, right? The root word of it is salama, peace. So when you see al-Islam, al is the, salama, the peace. Boy, I can have I got the prayer rug. I got the oils. I got me a Quran. Right? We can read it. Bismillah, ir-Rahmanu, ir-Rahim. Right? I read it to you in the I ain't got peace in me though. Nashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. I can speak it, but is the peace in me? Do you see? What is that called? Spiritual bypassing. And are we doing it on a collective level? I'm spiritual now. I'm going to manifest what I want. I deserve. At a certain level of spiritual consciousness, you stop thinking about what you deserve because you realize you have it all already. I know it's hard to wrap your head around, but it's called spiritual bypass. And this is what people are doing. This is what everybody's guilty of. The holiest of holies, right? Everybody can look like they locked into the spirit, like they locked into mindfulness, man. But let me tell you something, man. You know how many dark caves is in our spirit that we refuse to walk through? Spiritual bypassing as collective psychosis, the pandemic of false enlightenment, right? Here's your psychological insight. Cognitive dissonance from repressing shadows while performing awakened identities. Carl Jung, clinical and empirical insight here. 72% of self-described spiritual individuals show elevated cortisol levels versus atheists. The atheists are more relaxed than the spiritual people. You know why? Because the spiritual people are performing. According to JAMA Psychiatry 2023. Here's your metaphysical piece. The crown chakra inflation form or the crown chakra inflation from light worker personas blocks root chakra grounding. In other words, you have to be grounded, right? In order for you to ascend to the crown chakra. So many people are so high, they're no earthly good is what it's saying. And when you get to that point, there's hubris, there's ego, which means you're not even really practicing it correctly. More spiritual bypassing. No bad vibes for me. No negativity around me. Negativity is the backdrop of positivity. That's how they are defined. If there was no negativity, how would you know what positivity is? I know people don't want to hear it put that way. Manifestation rituals as self-harm. How affirmations mutilate the psyche. Here's your psychological piece. Operant conditioning traps users in delusional reward loops, according to B.F. Skinner. Your clinical and empirical insight. From fMRI scans, it shows manifestation practitioners exhibit nucleus accumbens and they atrophy. Those nucleus accumbens atrophy akin to gambling addicts. And these are people that are on some, I'm metaphysical, I'm spiritual, right? The manifestation practitioners. That's because you got fear while you're doing them. The cortisol levels are spiking. There's fear there. You don't really believe that you are this thing. This is like going to buy a lottery ticket. Manifestors. According to Nature Neuroscience 2024, distorted sacral chakra energy manifests as ovarian and testicular cysts, according to Ayurvedic dosha imbalance reports. This is real stuff here. Toxic positivity as brain atrophy, the neuroscience of spiritual gaslighting. You just gonna convince yourself everything is gonna be good. This is the weakest society has ever been. You don't know how to sit in it without judgment, without fidgeting, without quitting, without deluding yourself. Do you hear what I just said? You don't know how to sit in it. Oh, the voice of reason gonna keep this fire lit. True or false? You can't manifest what you want while suppressing who you are.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Providence Health System, Southern California's largest and most comprehensive healthcare network, is dedicated to community partnerships that educate, build trust, inspire hope, and improve outcomes. Their vision of health for a better world is supported by their commitment to health equity, community engagement, and building alliances with grassroots organizations like the NAACP award-winning Amazing Grace Conservatory. Amazing Grace Conservatory is dedicated to empowering youth through the arts, providing a nurturing environment that fosters emotional and physical health. Providence is a proud sponsor of their dynamic production of the electrifying musical Fame 25. This performance features unforgettable songs and exhilarating dance numbers while exploring social themes, resilience, determination, self-discovery, and authenticity. Don't miss Fame 25, coming May 18th to the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. For tickets and information, visit AmazingGraceConservatory.org.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. Let's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So down, girl, you'll up and say so long, my friend. But they don't know that your sweet love and pain has been run through thick and thin. And I feel fool right now. Why should it hurt you, girl? And I feel fool right now. Why should it leave you, girl? I feel fool right now.
నీవెవరు?
Who are you?
నీవే తాను.
In fact, you are.
తానే నీవు.
In fact, you are.
నీవు తాను రెండు చేరితే ఒక్కటైపోయింది.
You and he are one.
కనుక ఇట్టి ఏకత్వాన్ని మనము భిన్నత్వంగా భావించుకొని మనమే పొరపడిపోతున్నాము.
Therefore, we are mistaken considering this unity as
ప్రతి విషయం నందు కూడాను ఇట్టి రిఫ్లెక్షన్ రియాక్షన్ రీసౌండ్లోనే
in
చెడిపోతున్నాము.
every matter you come across this reaction, reflection and resound.
కనుక మనం ఈ రిఫ్లెక్షన్ రియాక్షన్ రీసౌండ్కు చోటే ఇవ్వకూడదు.
So we should never give scope for these three: reaction, reflection, resound.
ఒక అడవికి పశువులు తోలుకొని పోయాడు ఒక కొడుకు.
A person is taking cows along with him to a nearby forest.
కానీ ఆ ఒక కుర్చుతోని ఒక చిన్న వీణ వచ్చి అది ఫ్లూట్కు పెట్టుకొని పాట పాడుతున్నాడు.
Well, he went on playing on a flute there.
ఆ పాట పాడుతున్నంతసేపు తాను తిరిగి ఎవరో పాట పాడుతున్నారు నాకు విరోధంగా అని తాను భావించింది.
As he went on playing on the flute, he could listen to the voice, and he thought that is someone else's voice.
వాడిపైన కోపం వచ్చింది.
He was so angry to the person.
పశువులు తోలుకున్నాడు, ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాడు.
He just brought them home, all the cows.
అమ్మా, నేను రేపటి దినం నేను పశువులు తీసుకొని పోను.
He said, Mother, I'm not going to rear cows tomorrow.
నేను ఏది చెప్తే వాడు అదే చెప్తున్నాడు.
I come across a person who's responding.
నాకు ఎవరో ఒక అడవి లోపల ఒక పెద్ద దేశీ ఉన్నాడు.
There is a person there in the forest.
ఏ పాట పాడితే అదే పాటే పాడుతున్నాడు.
Whatever I sing, he sings back.
కాబట్టి నన్ను అవమానం చేస్తున్నాడు.
I'm insulted.
అప్పుడు ఆమె చెప్పింది, నాయన.
So there's Sai Baba. He said, you and he are one. Let's get right to it. What does that mean? You and he are one. He's talking about the source of all that is. We call it God under many different names. The names don't matter. Names don't even fit the magnanimity of God, the ubiquity of God, the immensity of God, the incomprehensibility of God. We get caught up on the name like it's the name of a gang. Do you understand? He said, you and he are one. In the Quran, it says God is needless. Allahu as-Samad. As-Samada. Allahu as-Samad. Allah is needless. God doesn't need anything because God is. Period. Point blank. God is. You're deluded into thinking you're not. So as you climb the ladder of consciousness, you begin to realize that the manifestation ritual is nothing but a distraction to satiate some inner hunger that you've been ignoring. Which is why I'm doing the topic the way I'm doing it. Manifestation rituals as self-harm. See, if you're doing these things, first off, let's go down throughout history. Whenever you're dealing with Indian or Hindu gurus or avatara, or you're dealing with Christ, what you find is there's this phenomena of miracles. But when you start doing the work and the research, what you find, most all of them said, the miracles I do are a very minute aspect of what I'm here to do, of my being in and of itself. The miracle is the flash in the pan. That's the, did you see that? To get your attention. Miracles are for lower levels of consciousness, because they need to see something tangible that is inexplicable in order to listen. Do you understand? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really saying most of us doing the manifestation thing. Oh, I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest that. Empty. This is what Krishnamurti means. You hear me play his clips all the time. Humanity is empty because we're outwardly focused. Do you see how affirmations mutilate the psyche? We got callers on the line. I'm going to the callers because I want to know your opinion. But this is important stuff. We've been conditioned to grope, to seek, right? And unfortunately, our expeditions are pointed outwardly, right? People being fake positive because we think we're going to get a reward. You're not going to get a reward because the positivity you put out wasn't on the frequency of authenticity. It was you know how many people go to church as heaven insurance? They not really invested in the movement for real, but just in case it's true. This is heaven, and I was there, God. Did you see me? I was in the pew up front to the left of the organist. Am I lying? That's why we're doing this topic tonight. We want to manifest everything in the world, and we want it to come from the world. What did the scripture say about the world? Pick a scripture. What did it say? Who is the ruler of the world? And if you're practicing manifestation to get the love of your life, but you haven't become the love of your life, you're going to get the attachment of your life. And where there's attachment, there will be a fear of loss. There will be a groping and manipulation, a desire to hold on to. Do you see what I'm saying? You're a junkie now. I hope you guys are enjoying the Stevie Wonder playlist. We decided to play this today because yesterday was Stevie Wonder's birthday. So I hope you enjoy my co-host tonight because you already know my playlist is my co-host.